the Dynasty Madden League grind in 365.
Welcome into the DML Network and another episode of the bye week with your boy XPERT. All right, guys, I got two exciting users on the episode today, and we're going to start with those Atlanta Falcons and one of the newest guys to the Dynasty, Mr. LP. What's going on, man?
What's up, fellas? What's up, Dynasty?
All right, man. What has the Dynasty experience been like since you joined up? Now, you're a great user in the blueprint. Now, you got a chance to come to the greatest franchise ever. What's it been like for you?
It's been real. It's been up and down. A lot of tough choices by the previous user, leaving me with what I had. But I think I'm on the track. I think I got it going on here. He left me in some dire straits without a quarterback, and I'm hoping what I'm doing right now eventually change the Falcons' outlook and become a monster powerhouse in that NFC South. It's kind of tough right now, though.
Yeah, shout out to the homie Lord Farquaad. Now, he would love for you to give up Uncle Douglas to him. But let's look at the roster. What are some pieces that you think you need that's going to make you a better team? Right now, you're sitting at 2-4. It's been a struggle. So what do you need in Atlanta to make the Falcons competitive?
I think right now my focus is just getting everybody back healthy. I have a good mix of with my first round draft pick last year, my defensive end coming in, this rookie. He's gonna turn some heads. A lot of guys, they're not really they're counting him out. He's too light, but I see some potential in him. I can see he's Vic Beasley on the other side. It's going to be a three-headed monster on that defense, on that the defensive end as a whole. And so my weakness right now, what I'm really looking at is that interior line, the defensive lineman. I got a couple of issues in there. I think I want to change up and really stop the run. I think a lot of my bleeding is inconsistent with tackling on the run, and overall, yeah, that's my weak point. If I had to look at it personally, yeah, that'd probably be where I'm at.
Man, it's good to hear a young guy in the Dynasty talk about defense, because that's what side wins ball games. But let's go to the flashy side of the ball. Let's talk quarterback. Is Bryant Roper the QB of the future in Atlanta?
That's a tough call right now. He has the biggest arm that I've had, as a quarterback. I think he's turning heads right now. People are like, "Hey, who is this guy? Where'd he come from? He's out of nowhere. He's throwing bombs." He's got a big target in Mike Evans, who he really, really loves right now. He really, really gets the ball to him. But once Douglas comes back, I don't know how teams are going to game plan. It's going to be tough because he has an arm, and these guys are receivers for sure. So,
no doubt, 96 throw power in a rookie is always a great thing to have. But let's talk schedule. You're sitting at 2-4, and if you look at your schedule, you've had a really, really tough schedule to start. You got the Panthers, who are undefeated right now and just balling. You lost to the Saints, another user that's just balling right now. And then you had the game versus the Seahawks that you should have won, just didn't make enough plays down the stretch. And the same thing kind of with the Raiders. In those two games, what is stopping you from just finishing games out where you got users you can beat and you just don't get the job done?
I think to me, those two games right there was the point of which I kind of just stopped trying to get the other quarterback, Kessler, involved, and I kind of just shied away from his material and just went to try to go with what I know. My run game wasn't really pushing it. Now that I'm starting to get that back on track with Tevin Coleman, and I got actually Devontae Freeman running the ball more now. Those come into stop being one-dimensional as far as the passing is concerned and not making enough plays in that direction. I think this will be the reason why I should actually be 4-2 and not 2-4.
Absolutely. You got a little 2-game winning streak going into your bye week. You beat Lord Farquaad. You blank Lord Farquaad 44-0. And then you go and you put 60+ on Butters and the Lions. But you got a tough matchup coming out the bye week. You got John, the old 5-0, the former police officer who's playing decent football right now in Green Bay. Not really having a great year, but still is a decent user. And then you got Mo Booker. You got really 2 winnable games coming out the bye week to maybe go into that tough matchup with the Bears sitting at 4-4. One of the things I looked at when I looked at your stats is you got to find a way to get this running game going. You got really a 2-headed monster back there with Freeman and Coleman. What's it going to take to get those 2 guys going to start taking that pressure off that rookie quarterback?
To me, it's all about getting that offensive line where it needs to be right now. Like I said, I've changed a couple of things on the offensive line. My game plan is a little bit better. So when I came into the Falcons, or when I came into the Lions and I came into the Buccaneers, I kind of just tried to game plan a little bit more to that run game, taking a lot of pressure off my pass. And it showed in the Lions game. I don't think he knew which way I was going to go with the ball at that point. So I was able to, score whenever I really felt like I needed to score. And so I came up with 60. But, in the Falcons, he didn't make enough plays to even, to get on the board. So it kind of just played itself into that way.
Yeah, Farquhar's having a little struggle. He's taking over a team that's not to his liking. Just like you kind of took over the Falcons, really not your style of play that you play is like Farquhar. But you're starting to get it going. But we'll see what happens with the Falcons. One more question I got from you. As a user that's played in the Blueprint, our development league for the Dynasty, and now you've moved up to Dynasty, is there that big a difference between the 2 leagues?
As far as talent-wise, I can see the difference. Blueprint is definitely a grooming stage. Obviously, with me, I came from Madden 16 through the Blueprint all the way up, so I got the chance to actually groom with players. I got to know some of the users there who actually control, the Blueprint. And when I got into the Dynasty, I'm still looking at the Blueprint. I still use the Blueprint as as my formula to try to be a better user. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely it's definitely a game changer.
Now, what was that a shock to you? How much the competition level is just on a different playing field when you get to the Dynasty? As in the Blueprint, we may not be as close in the Blueprint as we are in the Dynasty. In the Dynasty, we kind of a brotherhood. And then when you get in the Dynasty, you really got to step your game up. You can't take an off week in the Dynasty. Did you see that early on when you joined?
Oh yeah, no doubt. As soon as I grabbed the team, it was like, man, my first game out, I was like, dang, these guys are really, it's not like the Blueprint. You could just walk in and, you grab a team, you put a couple things together, and then you deal with another user that, could be dealing with the same struggle as you. But in the Dynasty, these guys are groomed. They've had their team from day one. They know where their strengths and weaknesses is. And then when you come into the Dynasty as a new user, it's like, well, I don't know where to start. So it was kind of unfortunate my first end of the season, that those last couple games that end of that season, trying to fit in and try to figure out where my own personal problems was as far as the Falcons is concerned. But this season I've actually we're hoping to change some of those things that I had and get get some wins out, maybe hit the playoffs. I don't know. It's no question if I can make it or not. It's just tough. It's tough. A lot of competition in Dynasty.
No doubt. That was my next question. Can the Atlanta Falcons qualify for the playoffs in the Dynasty this season?
Truthfully, I want to say I could. I got some games that I'm worried about in my schedule. I'm pretty sure everybody does the same thing when they look at their schedule, but I'm hoping to round out the season with maybe 1 or 2 losses, but still be very, very well, within reach of the playoffs.
No doubt. Love the confidence. All right, man. I appreciate you jumping on. That's LP and the Atlanta Falcons, man. Appreciate you getting on the bye week with XPERT.
Hey, no problem, sir.
No doubt. All right, guys. Let's move on to the next user. And this is a guy you all know. He's been on the show before. It's the homie KP and those Chicago Bears. What's going on, man?
What's going on, man?
Hey, glad to have you back on the show. Let's talk Chicago Bears. You're going to the bye week 5-1. Are you feeling good about this team for this season?
Hey, man. I'm always feeling good about the Bears, man. So you sitting at 5-1 on the bye week. I got one game circled, and you probably already know what it is.
I see the Cowboys on the schedule. a couple games after this, but the game that I thought you would really have circled would be week 14 and those Vikings.
Hey, that's the game I'm talking about.
Okay, so let's talk Vikings. You would be 6-0, but the commish got you in week 2. What happened to KP and the Bears?
Hey man, if you look back at week 1 and week 2, I started out real slow. Actually, Butters probably should have beat me. He should have beat me. So that should be one extra L on my record, but it's not there. Went into the week 2 versus Nuke, and hey man, he came out and balled, man. If I had about 6 more minutes left on the clock, I probably could have came back and won. He was falling apart at the end, but hey, he got the W, man, and he was sitting on top of the NFC North for a minute. But hey man, you poke the bear, you see what happened, right?
Well, here's the thing. I wish you would have took 3 weeks to start off slow, because you got the Texans week 3 and you came out and just balled out. I couldn't do nothing against you. Then you beat Farquaad handily. You continued your dominance over John. And then you blanked the Rams. Now, shout out to homie Taz, having a rough year there with the Rams after winning that division. Hopefully he gets it turned around. But after that week 2 loss, was that one thing where you kind of went back into the lab and said, okay, guys, we got to get this thing turned around right now?
Yes. After week 1 and week 2, I pretty much saw what I was trying to do. Which, if you guys look at how I play, y'all know how I play, man. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat it or hide it. I run the ball. So I had to get back to trying to run the ball, man. And what threw me off was actually the draft. I drafted a wide receiver in the first round, so I'm like, okay, man, I got to try to get him the ball. So I was forcing it to him. Cost me an L, man.
Yeah,
so,
it did.
We back to running the ball, man.
Okay, so right now you're sitting at middle of the pack running the rock. And really, those first 2 games really did hurt you because you didn't perform in the first 2 games of the run game.
Right.
So is that just a mindset for KP that you just got to tell yourself, okay, we got to get this run game going. Everything gets set up off of the run game, so that way you can be successful on both sides of the ball because you control the clock. Then your defense is not on the field a lot. You get a turnover, you control it again. Is that just that mindset that you got to have going into games?
Hey man, you set me up to give out free chicken, but I'm gonna give it out anyway. Yes, my mindset is to run the ball, and everything else plays off of that. So, hey, what I'm saying is, stop the run if you can. If you can stop the run, you can beat me. Simple as that.
Ooh.
But
Wow.
Can you stop the run? Can you score points on this defense right here? I think we only allow like 12 points a game.
12 points a game. You are actually first in the dynasty in points given up. Why is the defensive side of the ball so important to you?
Hey man, the team cannot beat you if they can't score. If they can't score, defense can stop teams from scoring, and the defense can score. So if you can get both of those together, you can win some games.
You got a top 10 defense in every single category that counts. Your offense is starting to click here. Is this the year we see the Bears make a run in the NFC?
Hey man, I'm gonna try to make a run. I'm gonna try to get me a banner with my man Tight Work, so we can have some camaraderie up there, man, in the banners, man. So hey, I gotta try to get me a banner, man. That's what I'm shooting for, like everybody else.
Let's talk schedule coming out the bye week. You get T-Pain in the Colts,
right?
Then you got Hot Tub in the Cowboys. That will really test to see where the Bears are at.
Yes.
You get the guy that was on the show just a minute ago, L. Pete and the Falcons. And then you got a little stretch here where you can kind of start separating yourself from the pack. You got Butters, you got the Panthers, you got John, and then you got that big matchup week 14 versus the Vikings. At what point do the Bears wrap up the NFC North?
Man, to be honest with you, man, it's already wrapped up, man. It's already wrapped up. I'm sorry, Nuke. I'm being straight, man. Hey, Nuke the homie, but hey, he in my division, man. So we gotta just go out there and take it, man. If you want it, come take it. And he had it at the beginning. He failed one game behind me. Now he got to try to play catch up.
Well, Nasty Noob, he's had a tough schedule too. He had to come play the Texans, and the Bears kind of pissed the Houston Texans off, so we took it out on the Vikings. But the Vikings are still in it. He's only one game back. So that week 14 matchup, that's why I ask, is that the week where you just finally put the nail in the coffin and solidify the NFC North for what is this? This 3 years in a row?
Hey, 3 years in a row and counting, man. I don't plan to be number 2.
Is there anybody else in the NFC North when you look at it, besides maybe the commish, where you go, we got to keep an eye on this guy?
Nah, nobody really, man. I mean, Butters' game is just throwing it up to what's his name, Galladay. You stop that, you can beat him. John, I don't know what he's doing. One game he shows up to play. Next 5 games he taking L. So, you know, I'm watching Nuke now because I've seen how he's been drafting, building his team. He seems like he's gotten it together. So I'm starting to look over my shoulder a little bit, but I'm still looking forward, man, and trying to get to the finish line.
Yeah. Okay. So tough NFC, really top heavy in the NFC. If you look at it, you got 2 undefeated teams still. You got the Saints balling at 5-1. You got the Redskins at 5-2. That's going to be a battle for that last wild card spot there.
Yeah.
Is there some teams in the NFC that you look at and you go, I need to get over that hump. That's the hump I need to get over.
I mean, really, I think everybody might know the answer to this, man. It's Hot Tub, man. I think every time I played Hot Tub, he's beating me. First game we played, he beat me pretty bad, but I've been, gaining some ground on him, trying to figure out how he plays. So we're looking forward to that week 9 matchup at the Cowboys, and then we got the Vikings circled in red. So hey,
two big matchups for you in the second half of the season, but I thoroughly expect the Chicago Bears to be in the playoffs in the NFC. The question is, can KP make a run and make some noise in that NFC playoffs? And maybe we see KP in the Super Bowl. I know that sounds good to you.
It sounds good, man. We just got to make that dream come true, man. I mean, to be honest with you, man, I really like this team, man. I really like my defense. I've been messing around with my linebackers, man, trying to get a good fit. I think we might have found something right now with the linebacker core that we have. I've had a few injuries. Fuller's been out for like a couple weeks. Eagle Grimes has been out, but Fuller will come back like next week, I believe. So,
nice.
We'll see what happens.
No doubt, man. Can't thank you enough. Always appreciate it when the homie KP steps up and jumps on the show. Anything you got for the Dynasty before we get out of there? Maybe even a little message for the homie Nasty Noob.
Hey, man. Dynasty, man, keep balling. Get them games in. Nasty Noob, I'm sorry, man, but you just going to take John playing. You're going to be number 2. John going to fall back to number 3. He might fall back to number 4. I don't know what John doing. Hey, ever since John posted that picture in the chat, man, he been falling. So I don't know what he's doing over there, man. I mean, he need to get it right. But hey, Noob, hey, we coming for you, man.
All right, guys, you heard him here. KP jumping on the bye week, man. I appreciate you jumping on the show. Always a pleasure.
Hey, one more thing, man. Hey, what's the Skins do? Hey, keep patting yourself on the back, man. Every time you
H-Speed.
Man. Keep patting yourself on the back. Every time I see you writing in the chat, you always patting yourself on the back, man. Come on, man.
Dude, that's the greatest personal motivator in the history of the world. Love the homie H-Speed, the Dynasty lawyer. H-Speed, I will be hitting you up. I got a case I need you to take for me in the Dynasty. Hopefully you can get some traction because I didn't get none today. So we'll be hitting the desk of H-Speed, see what he can do for us. But guys, it's the bye week. It's your boy XPERT, and we out.